Hello.
Did we forget how this works?
We did forget how this works, how to do an intro.
We're so back.
We are so back.
We are so back.
We took a summer break.
We're back. Did you miss us?
Yes.
Yeah, you
should miss us. The Sports Medicine Podcast is back and better than ever.
Yeah.
Maybe
everybody deserves a summer vacation.
This go around. Maybe we won't. I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to play this by ear. But, well, like I always say, we never promised consistency, 1. And 2, I think everybody, like, this was our summer vacay.
Yeah. If I am back in school, so
literally,
nice to have a summer vacation.
Let's do a life catch up for our tens of listeners out there.
No, sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I don't even remember the last time we recorded, but it was funny because you and I we talked about recording the summer a few times. We'd have a date set. Shit would happen. We would carry on with our lives. But at a certain point, I was like, should we just call it a summer vacation and pick up in the fall? And now it's September, and it feels like it makes sense for us to be picking it up because, we deserve some time off. But you've been everywhere. A lot of stuff happened, but you traveled.
Yeah.
Were you in Switzerland this summer? Yeah, give me the rundown.
I'll kick us off. So, correct. Brian, me and his family went to Switzerland, and it was incredible. And we started in Zurich, and then we went to...
When was this, in June or May?
June.
Okay, yeah.
So we went to Zermatt, which was incredible. It's my favorite place, in the world. It was so cool. We were in a pool, looking at a mountain that people were skiing down. Turns out I'm terrified of heights. Now that I'm 20,
you learned something new.
27 and 3/4. I was having full
You're
on.
20. You are 27 in 9. You're 3/4 is generous.
I know. Well, see, the funny thing is, this entire year, I thought I was 28. So I literally am getting a redo in 10 days.
It's Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, no, I just get to do it all over again, which is really fun.
Yeah. Okay, so you're in Switzerland, scared of heights.
So we have to go up this ski lift, and we get to the first part of this ski lift over, and it's I didn't know this, it's split into 2 parts. So you get on this scary ski lift, and this we have children running around in it, and they're indestructible and fearless, so they're hanging out the side of it and trying to get it to rock and sway and stuff, and I'm holding on for dear life and getting a major stomach ache and kind of dizzy.
Yeah, waving off a panic attack,
Right. And then we get to the first part, and I thought we were there. I thought we did it. And so I was oh, thank God, at least it's over, And then Brian's parents were we're halfway. Let's get on this other one now. And I'm
and you're
we have to do this again just to get to the top. And so and once we got up there, I was just full on not having a Baja Blast of a time. And
it wasn't just the way up that sucked. You hated being up too.
Yeah, no, it did get better. So I hung out in the gift shop for pretty much the entirety of that excursion. And while Brian's family went to go and look at the different sites, and I think there was an ice sculpture kind of walkthrough thing. Yeah. So I did not get to do any of that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well,
nope, but I did partake in the cheese and beer. That was very good.
Okay, let me go back for 1 second. You're scared of heights, but you got married at the top of the Sears Tower and went on the roof.
Right.
That didn't bother you?
No, it didn't. I think it's because it's just my fear of things being out of place. Me inside of a building or on top of a building
there was a
that I
space,
know is well constructed and has withstood a ton of storms and stuff. All good. But
but these mountains that have been around for
the ski lift is what started it.
All right.
And then I was I don't know, corrosion. You hear about those avalanches and stuff, and they had fences up to stop avalanches, which didn't make things better. I just was staring at them I hope those work.
Yeah. It didn't ease your fear at all.
No. And then you think about like global warming on stuff on top of it. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm a sitting duck.
And then, it went into a full spiral about your mortality. So you hung out in the gift shop.
I did.
And ate a lot of cheese. And what else did you use? So that was
and drank
outside.
some beer.
Yeah.
Got some sunburn. Talked to a ton of lovely people from Europe. And it was during the time that the, what was it? The World Cup or the European...
Euros.
World,
the
Euros,
European soccer
yes.
tournament. Yeah.
Yes. So, and at the time, right before we left Switzerland is when Switzerland lost, but before, like leading up to it, like while we were there going through the different cities and stuff, they were winning. And so it was like so exciting because like every day at 2 p.m., like everyone would stop what they were doing. And I'm like, oh, that's why no one responds to my work. Yeah, that's why no one responds to my work emails because they're like out at a cafe
having a good time,
having an aperitif and watching football, aka soccer. It's incredible.
Could be us, but
it's incredible.
It is so incredible.
Yeah. So then,
it looks gorgeous.
No, it was so fun. I cannot wait now to go to like I've caught now the full on travel bug, and I just want to go to Italy or Spain or Belgium or something next. I'm like, all right, let's go do more. Yeah. But then I came back here, and as we know, our tens of listeners are going to be flaming
our tens of listeners.
I did fade the triathlon because I moved 300 miles.
Yeah, that's you have to lead with the fact that you moved.
Yeah.
You moved. So did I, but I moved about 0.8 of a mile, and you did pick up and move to a whole different state.
Yeah. So in some ways,
I can see my old place from my new place if I look hard enough. You know, like it wasn't that far. Yeah.
In some ways, I did do a triathlon by moving. Like I lifted a ton of stuff. I walked up a ton of stairs. I drove a car, which is not at all like riding a bike. But, you know, like, I don't know. I'm trying to draw some connections here. So I moved, and now since I've gotten to Cincy, I've moved in. I've tried Skyline Chili.
Did you like Skyline? Scalini's, as I like to call it.
Come
on. Don't say. I think Skyline is so good. But
here's
continue what you're going to say.
The thing.
I'm a disgusting eater, though, so it makes sense that I like Skyline Chili. Continue.
Chili and cornbread is one of my favorite meals.
Okay.
Like I love soups, stews, chilies. Yeah, like I love all that. And the recipe that my mom and my family would make was very, very good, and we have mastered it. So I would say I liked Skyline Chili as a fast food
option. Yeah.
But I would say it's a stretch to call it like a chili.
Okay.
Like I'll call it Skyline. I'll call it Skyline Chili, but to say I'm going to get fast food chili is no.
Yeah, I do.
But I love the idea of putting chili on a hot dog. That was a really good idea, and just a ton of cheese.
It's a breed of its own. I will agree with you on that.
Yes.
And especially if you have a strong affinity for you have a personal chili, it's hard to like. I like chili, but I'm like, oh wait, did you? Okay, this is a blast for our tens of listeners who may have been in the same sorority as us. Did you like Fimu chili?
I didn't. The first three times I ate it, and then similar to the rest.
Numbed.
Yeah, then I had enough Fimu coffee. I think that I just stopped being able to taste anything really in college, and then I was like, it's all right.
Our palates literally absolute nothingness. Okay,
buffalo chicken dip with like dino chicken nuggets.
If
the epitome of health.
If I could have the Fimu buffalo chicken dip right now, I'd do some sick shit to get some Fimu buff chicken dip. That was so good. But Fimu chili was one of my favorite meals. I think mostly because I would put so much cheese and sour cream in it. And that's, I think, so to me, Skyline really tickles my fancy because of the cheese.
Yeah. They are generous with the cheese.
And I grew up in I'm not going to say a non-cheese household, but my mother loved to limit. It was like you could have like one sprinkle of cheese, which is tragic. I need a lot of cheese in my chili, so I do like Skyline.
Oh my God. That is. Yeah.
I know
That's
it was
tough.
a hard life for me. But so yeah, if I made chili, I would go ham. It was like half cheese, half chili. And that's why I mean Skyline, it checks out that I like Skyline. I like that cheese. And whatever they say, they put chocolate in it.
People here have Skyline chili shoes, shirts, tattoos. It's a lifestyle.
For sure. It's very Cincinnati core.
Yeah, it's like being into like indie music. It's like I'm trying to think of it's a culture.
Okay, I'm gonna say in Philly, there's definitely an equivalent. Wow, are we drinking the same LaCroix? No, different LaCroix, but LaCroix. Cheers. For our audio listeners, or for our audio listener, maybe just singular, potentially plural. I just saw her drink a LaCroix, and I'm drinking a LaCroix, so I had to mention it. LaCroix. I think in Philly, like the Skyline equivalent would be Wawa.
Yes, absolutely.
Like that's one, but I'm trying to think of Portillo's.
Yeah. I think
like
so.
A really regional, and Wawa now is becoming less regional, but like I feel like Philly is the epicenter. Portillo's, maybe, I mean, they have a Portillo's in Indy or whatever, but to me, Portillo's is very regional.
Yeah, and definitely Midwest.
I'm gonna say mid.
I don't disagree with you. No, it's not. It's truly not my favorite.
The salad and the cake shake are really good.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. To me, it doesn't, like, people are out there like losing their minds at Portillo's.
There's actually better.
The chopped salad is really good.
Chopped salad's good. There are better places in Chicago to get a burger or an Italian beef sandwich.
100%.
If that's like what you're looking for.
I don't know. To me, Portillo's is a little overrated. Yeah. But our tens of listeners, feel free to write in. Remember that one time I picked you up from Portillo's on the side of the road?
Yeah, because my car broke down.
I picked you up off the side of the road and we went to Portillo's.
Yeah, because my car broke down.
And I may have bought one of our listeners' boyfriend at the time texted me to get a heart shape. It was Valentine's Day or the day before Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's
and
right.
I had to pick up I think I put a snap story of you and they were like, this guy who was dating ? One of my friends, I hope she listens to this, I'm going to make her listen to it, was like, can you buy me a heart-shaped chocolate cake from Portillo's for this person? And I did. Why did I? Yeah. They broke up like a week later, but
they had some really good cake before that.
Some really good cake. But yeah, I think Portillo's would be the Skyline chili of Chicagoland. Wawa is the Skyline chili of the greater Philadelphia area.
Yep.
Okay, but other than that, how are you liking Cincinnati?
Honestly,
are you moved in?
Just about. And
it's such a process.
I'm relieved that everything's out of a box now and like organized. Like it's not quite
such a big step. Yeah.
Moved in and like perfect, but shout out to Brian and his parents for raising a patient human being, because I was terrible moving it. I am a terrible person to move with. Like Brian's family was like, just, take it one day at a time. You guys don't have to get all moved in right away. Like, don't stress out. Don't overdo it. And I stayed up. Oh yeah. I stayed up until like 3 a.m. one day, like undoing stuff out of boxes. Cause it like just seeing the box, like I couldn't.
Pissed you off. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I can't like work or like eat lunch with like staring at a box like
that. I feel that. Like it's hard for me too. Like
awful.
I gotta when this may have been like Monday of this week. Yeah. Monday of this week. I moved as well. So I feel that pain where I can't do boxes. So I'm in a very busy time of work and I am busy at work, but on Monday at like 2:30 p.m. I get a package delivered with some artwork that I had been waiting for to put up on my walls. I had the frames and everything. Like I'm ready to go. Nice. I couldn't wait. It was probably 3:00. I couldn't wait the 2 hours until I could like more normally log off. No, I had to tell everybody that I was in a meeting so that I could hang up all of these, because I was like, they can't just sit there. Like I had to do it right then and there. And then I was like, am I good? Do I have no chill? And then I was like, no, I just can't handle like a box not being unpacked and put in the right place. So then I'm hanging pictures and then they're lopsided and I'm getting the level and then they're not the right distance apart and I'm losing my mind and people are messaging me on Teams because it's in the middle of the workday.
Right.
Yeah. So I feel that.
Yeah. And so now we're in we're in Cincy. We're trying out the new places and stuff. The area that we are like in is like a super active area. The downtown has this like huge bike
active,
path.
like physically active.
Yeah,
people are
like bike path, and then kayaking is super big because the I think it's the Cincinnati River, what it's called. But anyway, we have a river in our town that like feeds into the bigger one. It's the thing that splits Cincinnati and Kentucky. I don't know what it's
called. Well, that's
like,
the Ohio River.
Thank you. Yep. Yeah, still not good at geography.
No, that's okay. It's okay.
But anyway,
that's the Ohio River.
So our river feeds, I think, into that one. And so people rent kayaks and they're like super cheap and just like kayak around. And then it's cute. There's like little breweries and cafes and like little like places to stop and eat while like along the kayaking thing.
While you kayak.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And so people bring like their dogs out and stuff. I mean, we will never do that. Dublin hates water with like a passion. So we won't be bringing our dog. But
Prozac in the world to get Dublin on a boat.
No. I mean, there's hardly enough for a rainstorm. Like he would see a river and he would be like, so that's where this comes from.
Yeah. And then he's scarred for life, you know?
Right. So I don't know. We're not going to deal with that. But
no.
Overall, no, it's great. I'm so excited for football season now to be here, and like Cincinnati's like good at football, and apparently the like tailgates and stuff.
Who day?
Yes.
What does that mean?
I don't know. No idea. Haven't had time to look that up yet. Maybe next episode I'll dive into that.
Our tons of listeners need to hang around to the next episode so they can learn what who day means.
Yes.
They're at the edges of their seats already.
I know. I just spent, a little teaser. Like, what's going to go on there?
Day, a common term they could easily Google, but no, they're going to find it straight from us. But yeah, no, that would be hype. And the Bengals they're good.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Joe Burrow's frosted tips or like bleach hair that's soon to be frosted?
Not a fan.
I'm into it. I really like it.
No.
This doesn't like fire up Backstreet Boys memories. Like it's giving Backstreet Boys / NSYNC, which
it's giving Slim Shady. And it's not.
Okay. I hope my dream is that he grows it out a little bit so it's frosted tips. I think it looks so good.
No, I miss brunette, curly hair Joe Burrow. Like, it was so perfect the way it was.
I mean, it can go back.
I know. That's why I'm hoping it's a phase. It was a tough end of the season last year. Like, look at me. I mean, I chopped my hair off. Like, we do things when we have moments in our life, so I understand it. I think
he's just so cool.
I just hope it's not permanent.
Yeah, well, no, and I'm permanent. That's the good thing about hair.
You
hope he doesn't repeat. What if he goes like green hair or something? I'm still into it then. And he's single now, so if you want to put in a good word.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I didn't know that he's newly single.
Okay, I genuinely could be wrong because I feel like one of my friends works at the same company as his what I think is ex-girlfriend, and I think she told me. But I think he's single, which I think was part of the hair rash. Like broke up with girlfriend. And
way more.
I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's single. I'm gonna.
No, I love starting this rumor.
Yeah, it's
on our podcast.
We break the rumor and like it goes viral, and it's all from our pod. Let's see. Is Joe
Callard
Burrow
said she will not come to visit unless I am able to meet some cute guys. So
yeah, he's
this would be great.
Single.
Joe Burrow would be a good get for me.
Okay, as of July 19th. Single.
Sweet.
So if he's doing okay, you can let him know that I really like the hair.
Cool. Yeah, no, if I run into him, I just have to keep like photos of like all my single friends like in my purse, and I could be like, hey,
please do.
Like a little business card with your little profile, and just be like, hey, if you're interested,
it's like
these people are single. Yeah, I don't need them back though. You can you keep them.
You're right. And now, where do all, like in Cincinnati, do you know where the athletes live? Like, is there a like side of town where they all live?
Yes.
I'll Google where does Joe Burrow live.
I have driven by the country club that Joe Burrow likes to golf at quite a few times.
Anderson Township.
Yep.
Now I gotta look where that is. Oh, nice. Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of near where you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's not too far. They live a little bit outside of the city, so
yeah,
in the burbs.
In the burbs. I'm looking right now. Yeah, I mean, it's just a quick 25-minute drive.
Mm-hmm.
No big deal.
But that's the nice thing about Cincy. Like even at 5:30 on a Friday, it never goes above 35 minutes to get somewhere ever.
Which is crazy. What a concept.
I know.
You don't miss 294,
Sitting there for an hour and a half in an Uber.
Yeah.
That's like blasting music too loud.
Yeah, and there's no AC,
Memories.
But yeah, so that's hype. So the Bengals are supposed to be good this year, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they're usually, I mean, they've been pretty competitive. I think they've been to the playoffs.
Ever since Joe Burrow.
Yeah. They think they're expected to be a playoff team.
That'll be fun to do some tailgating. I've never NFL. Well, I take that back. I have for Eagles games, but an NFL tailgate. I feel like it's a vibe.
Yeah. No, I'm excited about it.
And the city gets really into it. My one friend that lives in Cincinnati, she always talks like she's not really a super sporty gal, and she's like into it. So the whole city gets behind it. That's what you like to see.
Well, and there's a lot of cute players on this Cincinnati Bengals and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Have you, what other, they have the Reds, and then they have Cincinnati FC, don't they? Soccer team?
Yeah.
Which I've heard is really big.
Yeah, it is huge here. Mm-hmm. They're very, very into Cincinnati FC, which is kind of fun because Chicago wasn't really into the Chicago Fire. So
yeah. Or I mean the Red Stars are pretty good, the women's team, but
yeah.
No, that's a good little that's nice to have that in the city. So you're enjoying Ohio so far.
Yes, I am. And I am also I've enjoyed all of the sports that have happened over the summer. Loved watching the Olympics.
That's a good little segue into our topic, I guess.
Thank you.
Nice work. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Do you want to start?
So what we were just going to chit chat about, this is mostly a yapping pod episode, but we were just going to talk about our favorite sports moments from the summer. Because there's a lot of sports moments, and I gave you this prompt I think yesterday, and you came back with a whole list, and I just now I'm thinking about more than just the one that I had in mind. But there were so many good sports moments. I mean, there's too many to count with the Olympics. So I will have. Why don't you start? Okay. How many do you should we categorize? Do you have a favorite Olympics one? We can do multiple.
Yes.
Okay, I have. Start with your favorite Olympics one. I have a few. Okay, it's spurring my memory.
I'll start with my favorite one, but I also have two. Well, actually, two close seconds.
Okay.
But my absolute favorite memory from the Olympics was the game. So men's basketball, USA men's basketball.
A men's basketball one.
Oh my gosh!
The game. Which one? Which game? I watched. The only ones I watched were I watched the first game against Serbia, but the second one, and I did watch the final.
Yeah. Okay. So the game before the gold medal match against Serbia was awesome, mainly because the US was playing so poorly. In the fourth quarter, they were down by 17 or 19 at one point. And this is the memory that I have, and this is the favorite one, and it goes into the gold medal game too. But at the beginning of the fourth quarter, Steph Curry just had this look in his eyes I am not retiring from professional basketball without a gold medal. And then you saw him hit 2 threes, within a minute. They had got a steal, he hit 2 threes. And then they flashed over to Nikola Jokic's face. And Nikola Jokic's face, even though they were still up by 12 or 15 at the time, he just had this look on his face. He was we're going to lose. Like
Yeah.
we've just awoken a monster.
I can finally go back and play with my horses now.
Yeah. And then the final was very similar. Like first, I mean, not so much because the US was more in control the entire game, but I think it was Spain that they were playing against.
No,
the first
France.
half. France, you're right.
Yeah.
1B. Yes. They were playing France, and like it was pretty competitive in the first half, and like France was kind of jawing at the US, which I thought, like, I don't know if that's what you want to do with like 4 or 5 of the greatest basketball players of all time. Like, I don't know if like
they did have the whole home crowd with them though.
True,
you know,
but like
it was
again,
a different environment.
Different people react to things differently, and I just feel like you like jawing at the greats of all time, like that's not going to make them worse. That is going to only make them better, and that's exactly what happened. And then, of course, like I think it's every like 6th to 8th grade, like 8th grade screensaver right now, but like fourth quarter, I think, what did Steph hit, like 4 threes or something? And then like the last one, like he just does his like classic like night pose, and like the camera perfectly captured it. And then they got the gold medals, and it was just, it was chef's kiss. It was amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
That was my favorite.
That was definitely a good one. The game against Serbia, it was like, I mean, almost all of this was going on during our US afternoon. I think my dad texted me and was like, I was at work, and I became known in the office as the girl who was watching the Olympics in the corner, because I would take the desk with 2 monitors. So I'd have so I had, my laptop, 2 monitors. So I had 2 monitors working and 1 with the Olympics. And my dad texted me and was like, oh, the US men are in hot water. And I was like, and I was probably watching, no offense but basketball is not my number 1 Olympic sport that I'm tuning into. I think I was watching track and field. So I did switch back to this, and it genuinely was crazy. I think I just watched the 4th quarter, and I'm, very college basketball trained. That's what I watch mostly. So to me, like whenever I'm watching professional basketball, I have to remind myself that there's really like there's really hardly a deficit that they can't make up. They just it was a different game.
Crazy.
So when they were down, like whatever you said, like 17, 19 points, I was like, okay, it's really not over. But Serbia kept, I mean, they shot so incredibly well, and I kind of was like, I don't know if they'll shake them. And then that game was crazy. I think the biggest thing that I took from that game, and why it was also in my list of one of my favorite moments, was just the reactions after. Like I didn't totally expect these guys to be so dialed in, and then like so elated after it was over. Like I thought Steph Curry and LeBron were gonna kiss, man. I was like, wow, they're stoked right now. I guess I would have expected them to be more business as usual. And the basketball in the world has changed so much, where the US used to be this like dominant force, and now basketball is, like a lot of sports, really leveled out with opportunity, these players playing all over the world and yada yada yada. But it was amazing to see how happy they were, and when they won the gold medal too, they were like, I guess I did not expect them to be so thrilled to win a gold medal in a tournament where they were so heavily favored, even though it's more nuanced than just them being favored. So I was excited to see their reactions. And
Tyrese Halliburton's Instagram was incredible.
When you do none of the that was good. That was really good.
When you do nothing on the group project but still get an A.
That was funny. I thought that was incredible. Well done. That's what you got to do. Whoever thought of that, or whether it's him or somebody else, round of applause. Like that was hilarious.
Absolutely.
But that was a good moment. That game was crazy, and Steph Curry went lights out.
Went off.
That was probably the best shooter of all time.
Would agree.
Probably solidified it. I mean, I don't know who else. I don't know who else would, but yeah, that was a good one.
What was your favorite
moment? There were a lot. I'm like a swim fan, really into track and field for sure. But I think my favorite was the men's 1500. Wow, I could say either swimming or track and field because they were both incredible, but I'm going to say track. An Indiana native, Cole Hawker, like got the gold medal. Definitely out of left field. Like, he won the US trials, so was, on paper the fastest American. But there was kind of a storyline between two other people who'd been, going back and forth for quite a few world championships, both indoor and outdoor. So it was really a feud, and the whole lead in, it was like one of the bigger races of the Olympics, in terms of hype. And from the track and field perspective, and they really like the whole lead in, they're showing these two other guys, like one guy is from Norway and the other one's British, and they're like kind of showing their lead in. And then Cole Hawker like kind of comes out of nowhere. He's like hanging in with them in the last 100 meters, like sneaks in the inside of the rail, which is hard to do. Most of the time that's like right on the inside of the track. It's usually pretty full of people, but they left it open, and he has an incredible kick and came and won the gold medal. And then another American won the bronze. So it was kind of just a crazy, and I'm like watching it at work, like losing my mind. I was like, holy shit. Because
you're trying to like keep your cool in your cubicle while you're like internally screaming like, go.
I was like, I was like, this is crazy. And like, he's somebody that I've like known of, like he was an Indiana legend and then like ran at Oregon. Like I've kind of not like I've known of him for a while. So to win a gold medal, I was like, that was crazy. The race was insane. And I was like trying to keep it together at work. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I was biting my nails. Like, oh my God. But that was probably my favorite race. The men's 1500 swimming was also really good. It's a long race, but world record in that one. That was probably up there. Yeah. What are your other good Olympics?
Like, so as we've already know, I'm a big fan of the greats. And I also loved that every time, like I know nothing about gymnastics, don't know anything about it, but I know Simone Biles is very good at it.
Yeah.
And
that was great too.
The fun part is like whenever she got up to do an event was watching the other faces of the other athletes. Like either like before or right after, because before, you're right, it's like it's this fear that washes over them that's kind of like, oh, like this is probably going to be good and possibly better than mine. And then like it finishes and like they can't not like congratulate her. They can't like, they're like, wow, I just watched something so cool that even me, her competitor, has to be like, hats off, like you crushed that. And that was also very enjoyable to watch. Kind of like when Katie Ledecky like finishes a race and just like watches everyone else like finish, like as she's like, taking the cap off and stuff. Like those, I love those moments.
Yeah, I think the camaraderie was big, especially like Simone Biles. I mean, she didn't even win, like as watching the vault where she got a bronze or a silver medal. I think she didn't win, or maybe it was another event. Either way, it's like it was interesting to see all the competitors. Everybody was so congratulatory of one another, and maybe I don't know why I expected like more hostility or something. I don't know, but
everyone was very nice.
Everyone was really nice, and especially I think like with like Biles, and even like when they would pan to the crowd and see like what other star, like I feel like all the stars. It was just like amazing, the fanfare around her, and just the overwhelming like she's the GOAT, everybody's totally that way. But I think even like in gymnastics they were all like so like I don't know, maybe I'm just more like nastily competitive, but I would have expected them all to like go into their corners and not say anything, but they're hugging like every person in the competition after. I was like, wow, you guys are better people than me. I would have been like, I don't know. Me getting into the handshake line after a soccer game was like challenging. I was terrible at it too. I know I have to do this, but I don't want to, like, and it was not my favorite thing to do, but Simone Biles was amazing. Obviously amazing.
I remember that we would like insult each other in high school in basketball, like under our breath, like you like wouldn't give eye contact, or you'd like good game, or you'd like miss like someone that you didn't want to
mm-hmm. Like again, I don't know how these, and I would, and like after a win it was different, but after a loss, like I would be dreading the handshake line.
After a win it was great.
No big deal. But I was always like staring people down. I was, and I hated getting the handshake line. I'd always kind of like be nasty to people.
U.S. women's soccer can't leave the can't leave the Olympic combo without mentioning that. That was amazing. That was so much
good
fun.
too.
It was
Definitely
cool following them on Instagram and then watching them play too. Like they do all the like shorts and all the stuff that we don't do.
All the shorts? You mean TikTok?
Yeah, but they're on Instagram as like shorts. I don't have TikTok.
Yeah, they're like TikTok famous. Yes, they're on.
Yes, sorry,
yes, they are. They do make their way, but like Trinity Rodman, all of them, they're like TikTok. Yeah. Yes, I don't have TikTok either, but that is their. And then I thought the women's national team was, again, from a soccer perspective, my soccer background, impressive, because like if you watch some of the World Cup a year ago,
they choked.
Well, it was like,
but like people
I watched them for 10 minutes and I was like, they're not going to make it out of the group play, and they didn't, or maybe they did. They lost.
Kind of, I think, overhyping them. Well, they played poorly.
The dynamic wasn't. No, they just the dynamic wasn't there. They weren't. They were properly hyped. I mean, they have like had all the right people on paper to be good. It just wasn't the.
But the other teams were really good too. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like when
yeah, for sure. The other team, similar to men's basketball, the level of play in women's soccer, again, it's not like what it once was when the United States was truly dominant. Women's soccer has definitely, the playing field has equalized or gotten closer,
similar to basketball,
to equal.
I would say.
Very similar to basketball. But no, last year is just, and the teams they were playing were fine, but on paper, the US, they just didn't have it last year. And I think the team dynamic is so different. They have a new coach who stepped in
cool.
and very last minute. They played, I think, 8 games together before going on.
Yeah, and she
going into the World Cup.
Like critics, like they weren't really sure of that coaching selection either, were they? And then she just got a gold medal, right?
Yeah, I think any national team, they're going to be critical because it's hard to pick somebody. And she's not. I mean, she's not new to the American soccer system. That's really where she got a lot of her coaching chops. But she was just at Chelsea, and so I think and it's hard because they've had like a string of kind of meh coaches. So I think it was a very obvious to see like a culture change, I guess I would say. And they did turn over the roster a little bit. Like you didn't have a lot of the old names, like Alex Morgan wasn't on the roster. It was really young. There were really only a few of the older, more seasoned, like Rose Lavelle, like some people you've seen on the national team for quite some time. But I think it was kind of like a youth revolution, and I think it was good. A handful of people texted me when like Alex Morgan really, I think, was like the big notable person that didn't make the roster, and people were like, what do you think about it? And I was like, it's probably a good thing. Like, one, she hasn't been the healthiest, and two, sometimes it's like, I don't know, in with the old.
I mean, when it's time, it's time. There's gonna come a moment when
they needed that.
The new person steps in. So
yeah. So I think that was one of my favorites too, because I think obviously they were the favorites going into this tournament, no doubt, but like not an overwhelming favorite. And they did step up to the plate in some big moments, and they looked like they were having fun. Like they looked like more of a cohesive group. So it was fun. That was really fun. And they really cared a lot too. I mean, even when they won the game before the gold medal match, like to get there, I mean, they were all like losing their minds, excited. So that was one of my favorites too. I didn't watch a lot of group play, but then when they got out of that, I was dialed into some soccer.
Yeah. And then I think the last shout I would make for the Olympics is women's basketball. I think have won like 60 straight or like 62 straight. So women's basketball is very much dominating.
And it was a close final. Who'd they play in the final? It was kind of close, wasn't it?
France. That was like a historic thing too. Like never has that happened before where men and women had the same gold medal game.
Yeah. And I thought
the last play of the game, a girl on France went for a 3-point play and her foot was over the line, but she made it, but it was a 2, so they lost. I mean, it was a nail biter. Crazy. But US has not lost.
Yeah, which is wild. Again, I watched a few of their games, and it's just like amazing to see that group they have like on the court. It's like, wow, all of these players, it's just like star-studded from top to bottom. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's all the people. It's just wild.
Every one of their subs is a starter. Yeah, it's crazy.
But it's crazy. It's like, wow, this is an insane roster. Yeah, I liked women's basketball. That was a good one. I'm trying to think of others. swimming, there was a lot of good swimming ones for me. Like Leon Marchand, who's kind of like the new Michael Phelps. He's French, and to like watch the arena go crazy. He won 4 gold medals, and to watch them go crazy was insane. And it definitely got me like hyped for LA I'm like, wow, it'll be a home crowd. And that I think the French had like one of their best performances ever as a country in the Olympics. And I don't know, Paris seemed like it was pretty lit from an athlete perspective, from a crowd perspective, which I guess makes sense. Like in France, they're all off during the month of August. Like they ain't working.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're on their summer
holiday. Yeah.
Holiday.
They're having a good time.
I thought the closing ceremony was weird.
I watched it for like 2 seconds and I got bored.
Yeah, well, if you would have kept watching, you would have felt the same way, because you were like, what's going on here?
Well, they were leading into LA, you know? I don't know. I didn't even I watched like Tom Cruise jump.
Took a while.
What did you think about the opening ceremony on the boat?
I thought that, okay, so for the meme of, LeBron James and I think it was one of the soccer players. Was it Trinity Rod? No,
I know what you're talking about.
Was it tennis player?
Delaware.
Yeah, Coco? Yeah, but they memed it, and it looked like they were like the U.S. crossing the Delaware, and it was it was hilarious. It was great. It would have been cool. It would have been really cool if it wasn't raining, but because it was raining, like I'm one of my professors was in Paris for the Olympics and had got reservations for like a beautiful restaurant that was going to be on the water so they could watch everyone come in. Yeah. And he's like, they couldn't see us and we couldn't see them, and we had ponchos on, and it was not great. But he said the rest of it was awesome.
It did rain really hard. Yeah. I was listening to a podcast and how from the athlete perspective, it was the best opening ceremonies ever because they had food, water, in a bathroom. Normally it's a lot of the athletes don't do the opening ceremonies because they lose out on hydration and fueling, and because it's and they walk so much. So They were all saying that it was actually great because they didn't have to walk and they were able to eat and drink, maintain. So it encouraged a lot more people who who were on the front end of the Olympic schedule, who maybe who wouldn't have attended a normal ceremony where they're walking through the stadium. Cool. Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's what I thought was interesting. I didn't think about that. And I was like, well, yeah, say you're a runner and you're or any athlete, you're always thinking about hydration, and you have the biggest competition of your life coming up. And it did rain, but I don't know. I feel like that was interesting. I was like, oh, that's a good thing to think about. You could go.
You learn something. You learn something new.
Yeah. Neat. I'm trying to think of any other. The Olympics were amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. I had, how athletes get post-Olympic depression. I had, what am I going to do at 2 p.m. at work? What's going to distract me from the pain of at work when it's
corporate America?
Instead, I had to pay attention. But so I watched a lot of Olympics, watched a ton of swimming. Yeah, and I was my American pride could not have been. I mean, just in general, I was watching. All the events. It's just so cool to see them so excited after. There's obviously the highs and the lows, but I don't know. It's just amazing to watch. So I was gassed up after the Olympics. Had a great time watching it. And now I'm should we go to the Olympics in 2028?
Could be fun. Maybe it'll be our first live show. We'll record.
We're going live from the Coliseum at
from opening ceremonies.
Yeah, well, we're actually going to be hosting opening ceremonies.
Yeah, they picked us. Can you believe it?
Yeah, they picked us out of everybody. They picked our little podcast with tens of listeners. Very niche. Very niche. I think they had some interesting people on the NBC broadcast. Why couldn't it be us?
Yeah, no, totally. And there were a couple people on the NBC that I would say were amateur hours. So
the girl from Call Her Daddy was one of them. What's her name? Alex Cooper, that podcaster.
That doesn't make me feel better.
Okay, but she's actually like a pretty good like a great interviewer too. At
Yeah,
least
I was
like
gonna
in a
like
relative
it's like the
sense.
most popular
Popular
podcast in the
female.
world.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that back. So, but okay, we need to aim. Yeah.
I was thinking more of one of those no-name NBC broadcasters that get like the 2 a.m. slot that we weren't there for, like
okay,
weren't
well,
awake
maybe
for.
that's what we need to aspire to. Let's
know?
shoot. Like, we're not even gonna shoot for the stars. We're gonna like go straight for the moon and we're gonna shoot lower.
Yeah.
Does that even
stratosphere.
make sense? We're
We're shooting for the stratosphere.
We're trying to leave the atmosphere.
Yeah. Without catching fire.
Yeah, upon re-entry. Yeah, we don't want to. Yeah. Or yeah, you're right. I guess exiting too. I don't know anything about space. Wow, we really tried to.
My favorite part. This has been my favorite part of this podcast.
We really tried to set up a cool metaphor and horribly executed it
miserably.
Yeah. No, this is a note to all of you podcasters out there. Know where you're going before you start on something.
Indeed.
Yeah,
because we don't.
I did not know where I was going on that. But yeah, that was like, I feel like as a whole, just the Olympics were my favorite summer sports memory. Do you have any other good ones outside the Olympics on your list?
Honestly, they're happening now. I think by not selecting Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese for the Olympics, that has also ignited them. And I don't know if you're paying attention to WNBA. So both of them have broken, I think both of them have more than one rookie record. And now they both have also broken just like a WNBA season record as rookies. Like that's crazy.
Is this the best rookie class to have ever come through the WNBA? Yeah, I feel like there's no question. Yeah, I've been following it perfectly. I mean, I saw that Gabby Thomas and Simone Biles were at the Fever game last week.
Yeah, no.
You want to know why they were there? They were like in town doing something for Lily.
Oh.
Like, I'm pretty sure that's what they were
doing.
Lily
has like a few like commercials now with celebrities. And I'm like, doesn't it cost a lot of money?
Yeah, they have Simone Biles' mom on Mounjaro.
Yeah,
we've entered a weird. We've pivoted to.
Sorry, we're having a quick side. You can skip 30 seconds if you're not interested.
Skip ahead if you don't have any interest in drugs. Yeah, they have her on Simone Biles' mom on Mounjaro in the Mounjaro commercial, and then for the Olympic trials for swimming. Granted, the Olympic trials were in Indianapolis. They were like a
huge.
It was
sponsor.
Sponsored by Lily. I mean, it may have been like the Phillips 66 Nationals, but I think it was like Lily they were running a ton of commercials, and I was like, "Want to hire me?" Yeah, no, I'm kidding.
Right.
Maybe. But I'm pretty sure they were both. And Gabby Thomas won the 200 meter at the Olympics. She's amazing. She won like 3 golds. And then they had some, like, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong. We could start another rumor, but I'm pretty sure they were there because they were doing something with Lily.
Of that. Because I know Lily's like the main sponsor for the Fever, for the women.
Yeah. Which I guess makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the aside. So yeah, so you're right. I do think, and I mean, I thought it was interesting when they weren't selected to the roster. I was like, interesting, but I'm gonna trust that this makes sense that they weren't selected to the roster, and I do think it does make sense in some ways that they weren't on the Olympic roster. Like it, I don't know.
I think
Caitlin Clark went to Greece instead.
Yes, I think it made sense at the time, given the stats.
Would you put a rookie? Yeah, like like where they were in the season.
Would say the hype, like when Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese come to town, ticket numbers and attendance go up. And so I think if you were still trying to build like women's basketball around the world, I think there was an argument to be made to put those two on that team.
And
however, I do agree stat wise, they weren't playing at the level they both are currently playing at to make the team. However, that definitely like ignited both of them. And now like, I mean, like they're like the ESPN and like LeBron James is tweeting about both of them. Like I've never seen, they are playing women's basketball. Like they are scoring and rebounding at clips that are like watching men's basketball. Like in terms of like the quickness of it, like is, it's so cool to watch.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've been keeping up with it peripherally, but I feel like every time it's like, I don't know, new record broken or crazy game. Like, yeah, I do think I think the decision, I don't know jack shit about their decision to not put them on the team, but I think it was interesting to not see them on the team. I guess I wasn't surprised because, they're kind of new to this all, but no, I think it's been, again, I think the WNBA season is just, they've only cranked up the heat on it,
No, yeah.
It was already really hot. It was already really hot.
I think and I know like it was the first game, and I could be wrong about this, so I might have to Google it, but before they leave for the Olympics, the Olympic team plays the All-Star team as like a practice.
Like a practice game, yeah.
Yeah, and Reese and Caitlin were on the All-Star team, obviously, and I'm pretty sure the All-Star team won that game.
Yeah, I could see it. The Olympic team probably didn't play.
Probably weren't trying very hard or stuff like that.
They probably did. Their starters probably were not playing.
Right.
They probably
and they're like learning how to like play together and stuff too. But it was cool because like Angel, like I don't remember what the score was. I don't remember who won. But it was cool because after the game, Angel Reese had a tweet that went viral, and she was like her and Caitlin Clark are like high-fiving or whatever, or like talking to each other at like center court, and she was like, we'll be in LA. And I was like, chills.
Yeah.
Like,
well, no,
awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, let's go.
And that's kind of a shit. Like, yeah, I think it's one of those things where they, like, in my very untrained mind, they made a little bit of a late ad to the Olympic team, like coming at like their time is coming.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
definitely.
I think with the Olympic team, it's like, like they think about these things for a while, and obviously these two players were amazing collegiately, but like maybe the powers that be thought it was too big of a jump, and I think you're right. Like their time is coming. It's 28. It's Melbourne and 32. Like there's a lot of time for these players to do something like that, and I think they'll be cornerstones of the national team in the future. So yeah. Yeah, no, I think timeline wise, educate me. So they have the Olympic break. When is playoff season for the WNBA? And where are teams? Who's leading in the clubhouse right now? If you know,
I don't know if I'm literally want to look up right now. Hold on, because I'm curious too what the standings are, because like the Fever were obviously terrible at the beginning of the year, and then I can tell you right now, up.
Eastern Conference, it's third. Currently,
in the East.
They're third in the East. So it's the
overall.
Liberty, the Sun, Fever, Sky, Dream, Mystics, and then in the West, it's the Lynx, Aces, Storms, Mercury, Wings, and the Sparks.
Right, and I'm a little surprised the Aces aren't.
The Aces won last year?
Yeah. Well, no. So they're back to back. The Aces are going for a three-peat, I believe, this year.
Three-peat.
Which would would be the first for the WNBA.
Okay, now I'm looking when. So WNBA playoffs start September 22nd.
Yeah.
Oh, that's soon. All right.
Yeah.
All right. How many teams make the playoffs?
They were talking about, really quick. They were talking like in the Olympics, how crazy it is that like the women on the U.S. medal team, like they had like some of them based on like their game schedule had like 2 or 3 days off before they had to be back
thinking about
playing
that.
like playing games. Like,
I was just
can you imagine
about
like
that.
you
That's
have
a lot of work.
And I'm just talking like the time change. Like you have 2 days to get over you have 2 days to get over your jet lag.
Minimum, yeah. And you're back playing. I was thinking about that. For these, and it's the WNBA has it the worst because the NBA is off right now. You know, it's summertime, they're doing whatever. The WNBA is tough. Like I was thinking that same thing. I was like, man, that is a lot of basketball. And then you have to get back on the swing of things. And it really becomes crunch time now that I know when the WNBA playoffs start. It really is crunch time when they're back from the Olympics. You're in the last 6-7 weeks of your season where you really need to be being your best.
Winning.
Like that,
yeah,
that is a lot of basketball. I'm tired for them. I was literally thinking, I'm like, I hope they get those. I was like, well, but somebody get the Alter G or the Norma Tech boots on them. I'm tired looking at their legs. Like, get them a massage. I don't know.
No, definitely.
That's a lot of basketball.
Because I think the Premier League just started, I think soccer players like all around the world didn't have a ton of rest time either.
Well,
but
yeah,
I feel
the
like
NWSL, like the women's
but it was
league,
like
they were on Olympic break too. Yeah. And the NWSL is like mid-season too, but in the Olympic soccer schedule was pretty brutal. But yeah, it's a little different. WNBA, they just play so many games.
Yeah.
They just play a lot of games in basketball. And soccer, it's a little bit more spread out.
8 teams make the playoffs.
8 teams. That's what 8 out of the 12 make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So the Fever are in a good spot.
Yeah. No, they're in a good spot to make a run.
Yeah.
I don't see them taking the Aces down in a series. I don't know if I see anyone.
It's not about Rome wasn't built in a day, you know. They finished last in the WNBA last year? Dead last? Yeah, of course they were dead last. That's why they had the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. That's why they have But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. If they did it, it would be a
pretty
a
crazy.
Goliath. That would be
a Goliath. And that time we got our reference right.
Thank you.
I thought you were gonna say a David, so good.
No.
Yeah. So I feel like that's a good little summer personal overview, and then our favorite Olympic moments.
No, definitely.
We're so back, guys. Let's watch us not record for like another month. No.
Now we're going on fall break. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, sorry guys. It's fall break again. No, I mean, we never promised consistency. It's just we're back. Everybody deserves a vacation.
No, exactly. Work-life balance.
We called it a summer break, and we're back. But it's good to be back in the studio with you. Yeah,
in our little pod labs.
In our pod labs, our backgrounds look a little different. We've upgraded the scenery.
Yep, really quick. I wanted to show you. Oh no, I'm not gonna be able to. I got a plant.
Oh, I see it.
You can kind of see it.
Yeah,
it's real.
And on that note, our tens of followers, how long does that plant last before it's dead?
So it's aloe vera, so they're good at being in droughts.
Pretty drought resistant. Yeah.
Put that into your
account, but drop a comment below how
long that plant's gonna live.
I'm gonna guess you don't have a green thumb.
No.
Okay. No. All right.
Nope.
Comment below how long you think Mad Max plant's gonna last. But I hope it lasts a while.
If it's over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's supposed to help breathing and like anxiety and stuff.
I've got a plant in my room that I bought it from this woman. She was like, this will make you sleep better. And I was like,
okay,
if you say so. So I got that in my room. My snake plant apparently is supposed to make you sleep better. You should get a snake plant. They're apparently impossible to kill.
No, we have one already in our room.
Well, you're gonna sleep better. You're gonna sleep like a baby.
Yeah, it hasn't totally been working quite yet, but maybe mine's not activated yet.
I'm basically an insomniac. I'm basically an insomniac, so that plant ain't doing shit these days. It's helping itself. It's helping itself.
That plant's like up with you playing cards at 2 a.m.
Exactly. It's watching me. It's like I'm doing this because I'm not trying hard enough.
All right. Well, on that note, thank you for listening to both of us yip and yap back and forth. And this has been your weekly dose of the Sports Medicine Podcast. See you.
Bye.